Well, the argument of the representatives of the injured miners and the families who are affected by the killings at Marikana have been doing an enormous amount of work over the last year to bring these stories to the Marikana Commission of Inquiry, chaired by Judge Farlam. And money's running out and money's becoming tight. And the reality is that in order to continue with their representation, the legal representatives are going to have to find some source of money. I think there's a legal issue and then there's a principle of fairness and equity. And the principle of fairness and equity is merging with a legal issue here, which is, very simply, does the state have an obligation to fund all parties before a commission of inquiry, irrespective of the subject matter? And the Constitutional Court made it very clear that this is part of the issue that's going to be put to the High Court, but that as far as the actual legal right is concerned, it does not exist as a matter of right. It may well exist as a matter of practicality and a matter of fairness.
Now, when you say whether or not the state is obligated, according to the Bill of Rights, it explicitly entitles someone to claim legal representative or representation at state expenses under 3 different provisions. Could you just go through those with us?
Well, the most important is when there is when the person is involved in a criminal justice matter. And that's your traditional standard situation. There's a right that if you are forced, if you are compelled to be brought before a commission, before a court of law, then the state has an obligation to fund your legal representation. So that's the most important, right? The other is if you're a child or if you have other dependents, you are then, or if you're in a position where you are dependent on the state and you're compelled to be before a court of law, you then have the right, and the state has a corresponding obligation to fund that legal representation. In this case, at the Commission of Inquiry, which is not a court of law, it's what we would call a quasi-judicial body. What do I mean by that? It's an alternative forum to interrogate what happened, both factually, but also what are the systemic issues that led to the event. And in that situation, a Commission of Inquiry's ultimate objective is to pursue truth. And in such situations, there is no right and therefore no corresponding legal obligation to provide any of the parties with funding. The discomfort at this point, though, is that the state is, of course, providing funding through various state coffers to the South African police services for their representation.